Botswana, a landlocked country in southern Africa, is often celebrated today for its political stability, thriving democracy, and remarkable economic growth. Yet its history is rich, layered, and shaped by the resilience of its people across centuries of change. From ancient settlements to colonial struggles and modern independence, Botswana's journey offers a powerful example of how a nation can rise from modest beginnings to international recognition. Ancient roots and early peoples. Archaeological findings reveal that Botswana has been home to human life for tens of thousands of years. The San, or Bushmen, among the world's oldest continuous cultures, left behind rock paintings and artifacts across the Sotelo Hills, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. These sites, often called the Louvre of the Desert, testify to a long tradition of spiritual and artistic expression. Over time, pastoral and farming communities migrated into the region, bringing cattle herding traditions that remain central to Botswana's culture today. By the early centuries CE, Bantu-speaking peoples settled the area, merging agricultural skills with established hunting and gathering practices. These movements laid the groundwork for social structures that still echo in modern Botswana. The rise of Tswana chiefdoms. By the 14th and 15th centuries, powerful Tswana chiefdoms had emerged. They developed around cattle ownership, trade, and kinship networks. The chiefs, or Digosi, not only ruled politically but also presided over customary law, justice, and community organization through the Kagatla, a traditional assembly where public matters were debated. The Tswana peoples became adept at regional trade, exchanging cattle, ivory, and later agricultural produce. Their ability to adapt and organize communities allowed them to endure challenges from rival groups in shifting climates. Encounters with European powers. The 19th century brought dramatic change as European explorers, missionaries, and traders entered southern Africa. The arrival of missionaries, including David Livingstone, introduced Christianity, literacy, and new trade connections. At the same time, the region experienced waves of conflict. The rise of the Zulu kingdom under Shaka displaced many groups, leading to clashes with the Tswana. As European settlers advanced from the south, tension grew. Boer settlers sought control over land and trade, often clashing with Tswana chiefdoms. To protect themselves, Tswana leaders such as Khama III, Sibele, and Bathoan appealed directly to the British Crown for assistance, becoming the Bechuanaland Protectorate. In 1885, Britain declared the Bechuanaland Protectorate, encompassing much of present-day Botswana. Unlike some colonies, it was not heavily settled by Europeans, partly because it lacked major mineral discoveries at the time. Instead, the British administered it with minimal investment, leaving much day-to-day authority in the hands of Tswana chiefs. While this arrangement preserved a degree of autonomy, it also meant limited economic development. Roads, schools, and healthcare systems lagged behind neighboring regions. Many Botswana men had to seek work in South African mines, shaping patterns of labor migration that lasted well into the 20th century. The road to independence. By the mid-20th century, nationalist movements were sweeping across Africa. In Bechuanaland, leaders began organizing for greater self-rule. Among them was Seretse Khama, a chief whose interracial marriage to Ruth Williams, a white Englishwoman, stirred controversy both locally and internationally. Despite political opposition, Khama remained a central figure in the push for independence. In 1966, Botswana became an independent republic, with Seretse Khama as its first president. At the time, the country was one of the poorest in the world, with little infrastructure and an economy dependent on cattle. Few predicted the transformation that was about to unfold. Diamonds and development. Just a year after independence, Botswana struck geological fortune. The discovery of diamonds in Orapa in 1967. Through careful negotiations, the government secured majority stakes in diamond mining ventures with the De Beers Company. Revenue from these resources was invested in health, education, and infrastructure, transforming Botswana into one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. Unlike many resource-rich nations that succumb to corruption or conflict, Botswana managed its diamond wealth with relative prudence. Strong institutions, respect for the rule of law, and democratic governance became hallmarks of the country's success story. Democracy and stability. Since independence, Botswana has maintained a multi-party democratic system with peaceful transfers of power. The Gotla tradition of open dialogue has reinforced a culture of consultation and accountability. Leaders such as Seretse Khama, Kedumile Masiri, Festus Mogae, and Ian Khama emphasize